This is Kristen, and she is having the Italian Herbal Peel. This is one of my newer peel formulations that is a progressive to moderate mid-depth, and it's a good procedure for a normal to congested, oily or dry acne, impure skin. It's a good starter for sensitive acne, or just even normal problematic skin with some excessive oil. And it consists of several steps using an Italian herbal mixture, which I will talk about in just a few minutes. But right now I wanted to let you know that I'm using the green tea beta cleanser, and I've really worked that into her skin very nicely. Kristen has got a very beautiful skin, but she has an issue with kind of chronic breakouts that we can keep pretty subdued. They kind of flare up, and because she's been able to do the treatments that she has not gotten any scarring from this. And so that's the beauty of being able to work with these problem skins early enough so that they don't have the scars to deal with later. And so this treatment is going to promote a lot of healing and some very mild exfoliation for her. So I want to remove the cleanser. Green tea beta cleanser is also a good starter cleanser, certainly for home care for this type of skin, but good in the treatment room because it has a nice stripping effect on the skin, good antibacterial support. Green tea provides an element of antioxidants to the skin, and this just really removes those surface residues very nicely without being too drying. And that's something you need to watch for with your drier acne skins too, is that you don't over dry the skin. Usually I will put a glove on for this if you're doing it a lot in a day. It can be a little drying to the fingertips. I'm getting it on here kind of quickly for Kristen, and I think my hands will be okay. This stays on the skin because of the amount of glycolic and salicylic in it. It's actually a good treatment step for the skin, as well as something to remove excess oils and the lipids. And her skin, it did lift out just a little bit more for her. The 15% glycolic, and if you have a client that's real sensitive, they may need the fan for this, but oftentimes not. This is not a real high percentage. It's a pH of 2.5, but most skins can tolerate this without the fan. Now, what I'd like to have, if I could get a cotton swab, and some of the, do we have any 30% glycolic nearby? What I'd like to do, and this is something that you can do even if it doesn't say this in the protocols, if you have someone that's come in and they have a lesion like Kristen has, and you want to start to soften that up more, to excise that and have it break up, swab a little bit of your stronger alpha hydroxy on there and leave it on for a few minutes, and sometimes it'll actually break it and lift it right out for you. But this way I'll do a little more intensity there for a few minutes, and it's going to help with that when we get ready to actually put the herbal mixture on. we can get this softened up quite a bit for you. Just remember you have done that. If you do it after you've rinsed or something, you don't want to leave that on there for very long, just a few minutes, because then it could be overdoing it on the skin. Remember, your alpha hydroxys have to be removed. They have to be neutralized and rinsed from the skin, because they continue, once you get to a higher percentage, 15% and above, those AHAs continue to work and seep into the skin cells. And if you leave that on, that could be a problem for the skin. Going to rinse her skin. Just take this off nice and firmly with your wet gauze. You can see where it's brought up a little bit of pinkness to her skin. It takes a lot to stimulate Kristen's skin. She can handle quite a bit, but she's getting just a little bit of erythema. Pre-peel solution is also a newer mixture that I've developed. It has the ursolic and betulinic acid in it, along with salicylic and lactic. So it's a nice little formula that can be used not only with this procedure, but many other types of peels that you're doing. Betulinic acid and ursolic are both very anti-aging acids, but also have been found through research to be beneficial as anti-cancerous support. They have antimicrobial benefits. And so I chose to do a little mixture with those together just as an extra support for any skin when you're working with them, if you feel that that is appropriate. And we like to put this on prior to the Italian Herbal, as well as we will be mixing a little bit of it in the Italian Herbal. But it just helps to add an element of nutritional support for those things that I've mentioned, as well as a softening and breaking down of the cells a little further because of the salicylic and the lactic in this. And this stays on the skin, so I just put it on evenly all over. And doesn't have much of a sting to it. Kristen's doing fine without the fan, but she has a real high pain tolerance, and so that's partly why. But you may ask your clients how they're feeling and if you need to hand them the fan. You want to put enough in here to make your powder. I don't know if you can see this in the bowl, but you want your powder to really mix up enough so that you're able to get it on the skin and like a little paste. And then we're going to be using the Hydra Complex to massage that in as well. So I just take my spatula and smooth this right on the skin. You have to work kind of quickly because this will dry, and you like to have it not overly thick. That's why if you need to add more liquid of the pre-peel or the Hydra Complex, sometimes, dropped a little bit there, sometimes I even put a little bit of water with it, which we probably could have done that with this. We may have to do that in a moment. I'll have to see once I add the oil how well it spreads. If you can pump this into both hands, get quite a bit on there so that when you lay it on the face, you've got a real good oily base to work with, and you can start spreading this. You can just take it out as much as you need to. And so see how it kind of spreads. It's kind of a messy little mixture, but so good, so valuable for the skin. Antibacterial, light lifting, good healing support, good regeneration for the skin. These herbs are extremely valuable for the skin. And then you just work this into the skin for about 5 to 7 minutes, maybe even 10 minutes. Don't over massage on a real sebaceous active skin. If they have a lot of cystic areas, then I wouldn't overwork this. I just kind of smooth it in and lay it in. But you may need to keep adding the hydrocomplex serum to your hands to have a little bit more moisture. There we go. That's good. It's nice when you have an assistant there to do that for you. So you'll have to kind of figure out a way to do that yourself. Usually it's kind of messy. You take a hold of your bottle and squeeze it in, but you can see how nice this all spreads once you get everything on here the way it needs to be. I've used this on young teens, and they can tolerate it really nicely because it's not a hot mixture, and just have seen remarkable changes with that young acne skin. And we've used it on many even normal thicker skins that just want a real glow and perk up to the skin, because overall the herbs can really work for just about every skin type except maybe you're real super sensitive. And a key to this is the hydrocomplex as well. It all works so beautifully together, all three components, but the hydrocomplex is a great aspect for antioxidant support, and that yam has a nice effect when a skin is having those hormonal imbalances and those young adolescent teen issues. It just is a good synergy. Now also with this, if you want to, you can use the grapeseed hydrating serum. That's a very pure refined oil of grapeseed extract, and it has just a few essential oils in it that are very good for the skin. And so for maybe a more normal skin, or if you're wanting a little bit more hydration to this, you could use the grapeseed serum before and after the application of this. Again, if somebody is claustrophobic, I think I've mentioned this in a few treatments, I mean, you probably might not be able to do this. If they're real claustrophobic, you want to always ask your client if they are. And if not, then just do a little steam for a few minutes. And if they're just a little anxious about it, you could leave the mouth area open and peel your cellophane back. But definitely leave area for them to breathe through the nose. Don't go too far with this. And now we're going to wrap her with the heated compress. But if you do this occlusion slowly and not just real fast, that's what usually takes people's breath away when you start working with these types of wraps and face coverings. And the compress can be pretty warm. See the steam rolling off. But if you rest it on your wrists, you can get a sense of how warm it's going to be on the face. Lay it on easily and slowly. And you can even go back here at the chin area where it tends to be a little thicker in fabric and kind of lift that up for a moment. Check and see if there's any areas where it's feeling more heated than others. You okay? Mm-hmm. Do not press it down. That just gets too hot for the skin. And even though this mixture is not an extremely hot mixture, if you had something that was on the skin that had that sensitivity, you could really burn the skin too much. The purpose of the heated wrap with this is, as I mentioned earlier, to work with those herbs. You're expanding the pores, and you want to drive these herbs and nutrients into the skin, and it just helps to give you a nicer finish. But if you can't do the heated wrap, just do a little steam. we're taking the hot wrap off. That really stimulated the skin, brought up some pinkness. Remove your cellophane. And take your eye pads off. Now I've got really cool water on my gauze. And this removes fairly easily in terms of sliding off, but it's real messy to do. You have to do several rinses because you're only going to get so much removal time with one side of your gauze. And so you may need to do several rinses before it's all off. And the more serum that you use, you saw that I used quite a bit of that hydrocomplex serum, the easier it makes to work with the herbs as well as getting them off of the skin. Now you can keep using the same gauze without getting a new one like I am. I'm doing this more for time and ease, but when you're in your own treatment room and you've got a sink right there, you can just rinse these out and keep using the same gauze through most of the treatment for removal. You want to just check everywhere and make sure you've got it all off completely. You can go back with your hands and see you can feel a little bit, even though you may not be able to see as much in some of these areas, I can feel a little bit of the herb itself still on the skin, so we still need to give another real good rinse. Great. If I have somebody on a pretty aggressive pre-treat for 2 weeks prior to this, then what we've done today is going to become more of a moderate mid-depth, where they'll have a little bit more residual peeling for a little longer period of time. But the way this is for Kristen is she could almost do this again in a week, and it would continue with the healing and the regeneration of the skin. You can see the tinge of green that this leaves on the skin, that even when you're wiping away and you think it's all off, if you go back over it with your gauze. That's why I love working with white gauze. You can see everything that's coming off the skin, and it really helps you to determine that you've got a complete removal and that there's nothing left, because we wouldn't want to leave any of this on when we move on to our next step. Now the green tea mask is a great finish for the skins like Kristen, the young acne-prone skin, oily skins. Really most all skins can take this mask. It has a heated stimulation effect where it will bring up the circulation or increase circulation because of the wasabi in this. But it also has quite a bit of a high percentage of green tea, and it's the pure heart of green tea, so it's a very antioxidant mixture, as well as having some antibacterial properties. So it's a good finish anytime you're working with an impure skin, the normal skins for just that extra stimulation. And if you don't want to go with something that's overly hot, like some of our other acid masks, this can be a great choice. Can you feel this, Kristen? A little bit of heat, right? And some skins can feel it like right away. And for example, on my skin, I can't have this on for 10 seconds and it's just like I'm on fire. And I have a 13-year-old granddaughter who can put it on and sleep in it. So don't select things that just you can use and be stuck in that pattern of only doing what works for your skin, because you're going to really limit your choices by doing that. And every skin is so different that it's going to change all the time on these different skin types, what we do. And now what I'm going to do is roll over her skin with the ice globes while she has this mask on. And this feels very good. It also helps to reduce inflammation and swelling in the tissue. And if you've done a lot of extractions, this is a really nice step to incorporate. It increases the circulation, helps to bring the blood flow to the surface, and that's where all the oxygen is in the body. So that's a good thing to certainly be doing for the skin. You can do this for 2 to 3 minutes, really as long as you like. At this point, and especially if the treatment has involved extractions and you've done a lot of work that's been a little uncomfortable to your client, they're going to just love you for doing this for them for a few minutes. And sometimes I keep my green tea mask in the refrigerator. I like to have it cooler, and that feels real good on the skin after a treatment like this, and also helps with the inflammation. So if you have a way to do that, a little cooler in your treatment room, a little mini refrigerator, that's a nice thing to do with some of your masks. Okay, after your 8 to 10 minutes are up, we'll take the mask off. And I just use the same gauze that I've had on her face to do my initial removal. And Kristen's skin looks great, and there's nothing going on with her skin that I'd want to make note of or change in the treatment. Always be watching the skin. Constantly watch, read the skin, see what's going on between your layers. Never leave the room. Not when you're working with these types of actives and doing clinical work. You want to stay right in the treatment room the whole time. And Kristen could do this treatment really once a week if she wanted to be on a program of maybe doing 3 or 4 of these. Or this could preempt doing a deeper peel if you want to take the skin a little further as far as exfoliation. I'm really saturating where she has this lesion. There's just a vitamin solution in the nebulizer, and that really adds a lot of antioxidants. Antioxidants are key to the health of the skin tissue. So once you have it saturated really good and you feel like you've really gotten every pore, you can turn your nebulizer off, and now I just have pure oxygen coming out without the vitamins, passing it through for her to have a few breaths of pure oxygen. And then I like to go around and really drive that into the skin a little more. So you let this kind of absorb in for a moment, let the skin drink it up, because you've just bathed it with all these really valuable nutrients and oxygen. Adds a real element of moisture within the tissue that gives it a very nice plumped up look and feel. And then we'll just take a very small amount of growth factor serum. Epidermal growth factor is what this is, and just lay it into the skin. This is also a key ingredient or formula for our post-peel home care, as well as everyday healthy maintenance. And see how nice and moist and dewy her skin looks. So on Kristen's skin, I'm going to put the zinc protection cream. It has a lot of zinc in it, almost 20% zinc, which is very good for supporting the healing of the skin. It's got some other real nourishing ingredients as well. That's very light. It absorbs quickly into the skin. So ideal for the skins that have an oilier appearance, or for men that don't like to feel something on the skin, because this absorbs in so nicely. Your young people like this as well. Okay, how do you feel? Good. All right, that's Kristen's Italian Herbal Green Peel, and we can see her in about another week for another treatment.
It's wonderful. It works. That's what I love about it. I can put it to my clients. In fact, sometimes I'm like, I'm not going to push products. I'm not going to recommend something. I'm just going to do a facial on somebody that's new. I can't help myself. I have to go when you have an opportunity and when you would like to change some products. I have a few recommendations for you, because I see such changes in their skin. I'll put somebody on the table and it's amazing. I'll be like, am I working on the same person? Because this is not the same face I saw even a week ago. Or clients that come in, maybe not that regularly, maybe once a month. I think, what have they been doing to their skin? And it's the products. They work. I cannot believe the change it makes. You don't find these products in department stores, not this strength. And they do have to be careful with them, and you do have to educate them. They have to become an educated consumer in using the products. But if they do what we ask them, they see changes. And so then not only does it make them want to purchase products, which revenue increases with your business, I would say at least double, if not triple. And the confidence it gives you, that's what's amazing. Because you know you are representing something that you are going to see results with. That's why I love it so much.